Painting live models is challenging, fun, and sometimes can be a little awkward because, let's be honest, you don't always nail the likeness. In this video, you'll see 7 of my oil painting portraits from the live painting sessions I host at my studio every Sunday. Every week, we have costumed models that are super talented and totally professional, and we push ourselves to capture them in whatever medium we choose. We'll talk about the joys of painting from life, the struggles of painting real people in real time, and check out some of the incredible other work from artists in these sessions. You know, out of the 7 paintings I do, there's one that I'm really happy with, but we'll get to that one soon. And a quick disclaimer. Every model in this video gave me permission to be filmed, and some of these insane camera angles, well, that's thanks to Insta360, but more on them later. Today is Sunday. That means one thing, it's long pose day. So here at Studio SLEW, I host painting and drawing sessions twice a week. Thursday night is nude figure drawing, and Sunday afternoon is a long pose, where people have 2 hours of total posing time to work from a live model. I've customized these awesome drawing horses, which we love and use for our figure drawing configuration. I have customized them to stand on their side to create a nice little side table for participants' painting materials. It's basically a mini cabaret to sound fancy, but it saves a lot of space. We reuse these horses and they work great. During long pose sessions, artists use whatever medium they want: charcoal, pen, colored pencils, watercolor, acrylic, oil. There's no rules. I almost always paint in oil because that's just what I love, and most of the time I focus on portraiture. That's just my thing. Some artists do the same, while other artists goes for the full body compositions, put in backgrounds. It's all personal preference. Again, no rules. The model poses for 6 20-minute sequences with breaks in between. So that's 2 hours total of the model sitting. And that might sound like a lot, but in reality, it flies by. And that's just another reason I tend to stick just with the portrait. I like having enough time to just figure that out. You know, if you've never painted from life before, you're truly missing out. It's such a thrilling experience because you're using everything, your eyes, your hands, your brain, to observe and translate what's in front of you. And sure, you get that when painting from a photo, of course, but painting from life, it's different. It feels more tangible, more electric, more alive. Painting from life is just harder, period. It's just known, you know, but that's what makes it magical. A photo is just a moment frozen in time, but when you're working from a live model, you're painting a living, breathing person. The model subtly moves and you have to make a quick decision. You know, you don't just see the subject, you experience them, and that's something a camera can never truly capture. But long story short, you should force your friend or family member to pose for you so that you could just try it out. You know, there's not many places in New York City to host open painting sessions with live models that's just for one day, like a drop-in yoga class. That's why I started these, and it's just the best time. And stay to the end because I'll be critiquing all 7 of the portraits I do in this video. I struggle so much with painting from life. It's so hard and frustrating, but at the same time, I can't stop because it's like my favorite activity. It's just a puzzle, and you are just surrounded by other people working on that same sort of puzzle. It's a blast. There's a lot of community involved, even though you're working on an individual painting. Anyways, I also have to logistically manage and run these sessions, so my 2 hours of painting time with the model sitting usually gets turned into about 90 minutes total. But that's fine because I also love hosting the sessions, and I also love documenting the sessions. You know, filming is a giant part of my personal creative outlet, as well as just a vital part of my career, and it's never been more fun to film because of the cameras Insta360 produces. I have been a long-time user of Insta360, purchasing 3 cameras in the past few years, and they recently sent me one of their newest cameras, the Insta360 Go 3S. It is just an incredible piece of technology and extremely useful for my workflow as a YouTuber and artist filming paintings and drawings. This camera is so small and is able to pop out of its charging bay called the Action Pod to be put anywhere.
That's crazy. So that's just a receiver?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yes, the Action Pod is also a video receiver, and you can see whatever the small camera is recording, even when it's not attached. This incredible small camera shoots 4K video and has some awesome accessories that just make it so darn useful. This hat clip is one of my favorites to get really amazing POV shots, fully hands-free, and it also comes with this wearable necklace to be a little more discreet when filming, and it attaches magnetically. My kit also comes with this pivot stand, which is also magnetic, and it's just a truly mount anywhere system that makes my life as a videographer that much easier, and also at the same time adds a level of creativity when filming paintings or drawings. So check them out, Insta360, they're awesome. You could get your own Go 3S with a free gift actually using my code with the link in the description. And you know, shout out Alex, one of my old homies, who is a regular at these painting sessions, always coming through and just doing awesome work, dialed in, always creating these little morsels, these beautiful little painting sketches in oil paint. We hooked him up with the hat and 360 Go rig for some POV shots. I also had the 360 cam running the whole time. And shout out his painting. Just a gorgeous little painting. Also shout out Erica, our model for today. A really simple but beautiful like pose of a princess with a sword and a crown. Who doesn't like painting crowns? You know, I don't film usually this much on Sundays, shoving cameras in random people's faces, but you know, we had a new camera to test and we had some action. So just another wonderful Sunday afternoon. You know, for me, the drawing is actually the most important part to the success of the painting. Finding a likeness is my goal, but it's not the only goal. You know, in every painting, there are small objectives and things to work on and try to achieve. Capturing the likeness or essence of the sitter is usually my main objective. But you know, there's skin tones, that's a separate agenda. The value structure for each painting is a separate agenda, as well as paint application, the technique, the style. Obviously, I try to strive to achieve all of those parameters as best I can, but most times it's one or the other. But that's completely fine because these are really just sketches. They are only one session paintings, 90-minute sketches, and I try not to take them too seriously. You know, a lot of these portraits are largely unsuccessful in achieving a likeness because I'm, you know, not some master and I don't paint as much as I should, but I love it. And there's just still a lot to take away in each portrait, especially if you're trying to improve, which obviously I always am. And painting from life in general is just positive, so giving it a shot to begin with is a success in itself. This portrait right here of Anna is one of my favorites out of the 7 I'm sharing in this video. It's not a super successful portrait, I'll add, but some of the qualities that you'll see, I just really like. And that's just my taste and perspective coming out, which is completely subjective, of course. But she has this pretty simple pose with this cool goggle helmet thing on. I have a great angle to paint from, a 3/4 view, which is actually the same angle for all of the portraits I'll be doing if you didn't notice. But the process of this painting was just super smooth, and the outcome, I think, captured the essence of Anna. Now, it's not a perfect likeness, but I think out of all 7, her portrait achieved the best nature or spirit of Anna. And this day was just filled with other awesome artists, and I always have the best time just chatting with new people and seeing their work. And to be honest, it's such a telltale sign to me that this nonprofit organization I started is actually working, that we are, you know, accomplishing our goal and mission, which is to provide resources and opportunities to artists to make fine art as accessible as ever. You know, people want to come to these sessions, they come, they make awesome work, they talk to the person next to them, and they have a great time. And it's making, you know, the entry to fine art accessible and really engaging. And it's great seeing them return. We have, you know, hundreds of people who have come to over 5 sessions, and we hope it just continues. Now, I wanted to bring up this topic of what the point of these painting sessions are, Sunday long pose. You know, like I've explained pretty clearly, I like to try and find a likeness with my portraiture and practice getting better. That's been an interest of mine for years and years. But these sessions, there are no rules. I think a lot of people sometimes get nervous to actually come to these sessions because they're nervous of being judged, or people looking at their artwork, and you compare yourself and you judge your skills and your worth innately against other people's work. But I really try to foster this idea at my sessions that there are no rules. Everyone's here to have fun. Everyone's here to have a good time. And the only agenda is to just experiment and be creative. And, people really do whatever they want here. They just doodle, very unseriously. They just use colored pencil. Some people take it more seriously and try to, progress at their skills. And there's different levels at every session. There's different agendas, and everyone is super kind. Everyone is super forthcoming, and it's just like a mini community. So I know this is a normal struggle for people in a lot of sectors of life, is comparing themselves, and drawing in front of people can be vulnerable because you're comparing yourself and you're worried people are going to judge your artwork. But that sort of goes back to the idea of artwork and what it represents and what it means is, it should just be for fun. Everyone should be allowed to paint, everyone should be allowed to draw, and everyone can do whatever they want. Like I keep saying, it sounds so rudimentary, but there are no rules. Yes, we have a model. Yes, you have materials. And yes, maybe you should try to paint in what's in front of you, but a lot of people also will take the reference of the model and make wacky characters or come up with some crazy different scene that has nothing to do with the models. It's all just there for you to do whatever you want. And I really try to be a leader in this sense during these sessions, during the Thursday night nude figure drawing, that no one is judging you, and that, my studio is a safe space to be vulnerable and experiment within fine art. And fine art has so much elitism built into it, so much just really bad versions of, things to not make people want to draw again. Talking about finding a likeness. And I say these things because that's just what I want to do. Again, that's my personal agenda, but I really try to make fine art fun and accessible. These sessions are really cheap. It's only $20 for these 3 hours. I provide a lot of materials. There's not many better places in the city you can find, live models with that price. And I do that because I want people to come in. I want beginners to, experiment and see what it's like to paint from life. And I want people to come back. And I want Studio SLEW to be a place to work out, like a gym, and to experiment and try different things within their fine art practice and maybe discover something new. So I just wanted to rant about that because I think it's really important, and that's my 2 cents. It's really hard to nail a likeness. I mean, people don't talk about how hard painting from life is. So we're here at the end with all of these portraits lined up, and this one I started way too big of a canvas, but these are all 11 by 14, which is my preferred size for these quick sketch Sunday painting sessions, 90-minute, 2-hour portraits. And yeah, as you can see, they're all the same angle except for this one, just slightly. I have the really, hard side profile, which is really challenging to me. Not my favorite, but I actually do. I like all of them, but this one specifically, we'll just start with this. This is Shauna, and I think it looks like Shauna. I think the hair is lazy, and the skin tone, I was kind of going crazy with green, too much green skin tone. The coloring in this portrait is not my favorite, but the values are fine, and the likeness, I think I got a good likeness of her side profile. Like I said before, Anna, this is probably my favorite out of all of them. I mean, again, quick sketches, nothing too serious here. Anna, it just looks very, the essence of her, the life inside of the portraits, in the eyes. And so that was maybe my most successful, maybe my favorite. Jordan here, I messed up the hairline, I think. Actually, the hairline might be fine. He does have a big forehead, but I think I could have raised the amount of his skull and the hair. But other than that, I think it looks like him, and I was happy with the skin tones and, you know, the pink nose. I thought it was pretty strong in that sense, and it was a quick one. Let's get a better pointer. The white sword, everyone's favorite prop and the model's favorite. So we have Nancy right here. I was really excited about this pose and I just didn't nail it. I was pretty bummed about this one. I mean, I still think it resembles her, but for a lot of reasons, the drawing was iffy to start, and that just, you know, carried over into the painting. The values are great. I like these really pink highlights, the hair. It was an awesome pose, and I sadly just missed it. And honestly, they were all awesome poses, and we do awesome, wacky props and costumes, so everyone's like, oh, you're not even painting the cool props and costumes. And yeah, you're right, but you know, that's for the other people at the session. It's not just me painting. We develop and manufacture an awesome costume and pose for everyone. Me, I just like to stick to portraiture. Sometimes I do full body, which maybe you'll see in some newer videos. But yeah, so that's all about the portrait. So we have Shauna again. Shauna over here. This portrait started off so strong. My little formula that I've established with the drawing and then putting in dark values, very normal stuff, but I was so happy with how this started, and sadly it didn't end as strong as it started. I think it still, you know, resembles Shauna. It's not perfect. Her face is a little more angular. I made it more round here, but yeah, so interesting process-wise. Then we got Kaitcha all the way down at the end here. I think it was a successful portrait, but it doesn't look like her at all, sadly. So it was one of those times where like the flow and the technique of the painting was strong, like the lighting and some of the features, her eyes, her awesome hair, but there's no resemblance, there's no likeness. Whereas this painting of also Kaitcha, I think resembled her a lot, and I was really happy with the likeness in this. This is probably my second favorite. I mean, it's very unfinished. I think this particular day I really had less than even 90 minutes. This might have even only been an hour sketch, but super simple, and it's very painterly, like I love. So really like this one. Maybe it was also because it was a larger size. I mean, the end result is actually a similar size portrait, but yeah, there's no resemblance between these two, even though they're the same people. This one's stronger. And that's it. There we go. If you've never painted live before from life, try it out. Awkward in the sense that it's really hard to nail a likeness. I mean, people don't talk about how hard painting from life is, especially portraiture. Humans are so good at recognizing other humans, so I thought I'd make a video on that. And it's actually not that awkward when you have amazing models who are really kind and professional and understand the flows of, you know, fine art sessions like mine. So that's all for now. See you in the next video.